Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of Right on Rangers Live. And man, is it good to be coming at you after a 3-2 thrilling Rangers victory over the Dodgers tonight. Late night, we got a lot going on tomorrow, so had to come late tonight. I know we did a little morning podcast, a little morning live today to talk about last night's game, but had to get this one in tonight. Games like these, you got to relish them, especially with how the Rangers have been playing of late, very up and down. Good to see the Rangers get an outstanding win tonight over the Dodgers. Look, let's be honest. There are things that you can nitpick tonight, and we're going to critique and criticize and break down some things for you. But anytime you can go to LA and beat the Dodgers as currently constructed, you got to go ahead and be happy with the win. And that is exactly what the Rangers got tonight. And before we get too far into it, a lot of y'all have been with us for a while, but here at Right on Rangers, we cover everything sports. But we like to put a pretty big emphasis on all the teams we love from the great state of Texas, including the Rangers and especially the Rangers during baseball season. Thank you for joining us tonight or on the replay if you're catching this on Thursday morning or Thursday during the day. So let's get right into it. First of all, what a bummer of a Dallas Mavericks game. I was kind of trying to go like split screen, watch both at the same time. And I just found myself more and more just watching the Rangers game with how that Mavs game started going in the second half. I'm bummed the Mavs are down 3-0. It is what it is. I can't see them coming back. No teams ever come back from 3-0. It's not looking good. Can miracles happen? Yes, they can. Do I think it's going to? As much as I'd love to be rah-rah fan, anything is possible. I really don't feel like it's going to be happening. So there's a little bit of truth serum for anybody that needs it out there. And you guys know I'm a pretty optimistic fan when it comes to the Rangers, when it comes to really any DFW sports. I'm pretty optimistic. I can't say that I'm feeling great about the Mavs' chances of coming back down 3-0. I think that one's over. I pray it's not the last time Kyrie and Luca are back in the finals, but I think that one's over. By the way, what's up to everybody on YouTube? Appreciate y'all. Hey, all fans welcome here. All fans welcome here. We'll get a couple of things in real quick before I get into my stuff. I think they said with the Langford substitution with Jankowski going in for Langford, Natalie, I think what they said is the hamstring, kind of trying to monitor it, not wanting to go crazy, but you'd have to hear Bochy. But I think in that spot, they're kind of thinking fairly equal speed. So maybe they're trying to give Langford a little bit of a breather. Jankowski's a better defender than Langford is at this point, too. And in a 3-1 game at that point, you probably are thinking to yourself, I've got about the same amount of speed. I do think Langford is a little bit faster, but I think with Jankowski, they were thinking, let's give Wyatt a breather, not tax him only a couple weeks off of the IL. And we need a better defensive outfielder, anyways, to close this game out. I think Jankowski, I think a lot of us would say better defender. So I think that was the reason. Now, what did Bochy say post game? Did they even ask him about it? Don't know, but that would be my best guess there. Mariners fan in the chat. Love it. All fans welcome here. We obviously talk a lot of Rangers, but hey, feel free. And the Mariners are looking pretty good so far this season. I think they're going to go ahead and run away with it without things are going right now, but hopefully the Rangers make it kind of close. Look, I've said for a while, the AL West, it would be great to win, but with the Rangers winning the World Series, getting in via the wild card, I really don't care that much about the division. I'm going to be honest with y'all. If the Rangers just make the playoffs, that's good enough for me. I really don't care if they win the division or not. Just being honest, totally transparent. It's not a cop out. You're going to hear me say that over and over. I'm not even convinced that it's the best thing. I think the Rangers got hot because they played that wild card round. Right? They went into Tampa Bay, killed it, and they just never looked back from there. So I'm not even convinced that getting that time off is what's best, is like the best case scenario. Anyways, if they end up coming back and winning the West, awesome, but just get in. That's really all I care about with the Rangers at this point. Now, let's get right into it here. So, Corey Seager back in the lineup tonight, and that proved absolutely huge as Siegs hits a fifth inning 3-run bomb. And that baseball was freaking smoked. That was 111 miles an hour off the bat from Corey Seager. That dude is one of the hardest hitters in Major League Baseball, right? You got Judge up there. I mean, when Stanton connects with one, he's up there. You've got a couple other guys that hit the baseball extremely hard. O'Neal Cruz for the Pirates. I just watched him play last night. I think some of y'all that were with me a little earlier today when we went live to do our morning live to go over last night's game, which sucked. I saw O'Neal Cruz though play last night. I'm in St. Louis for some work. Went to a Cardinals game, saw Paul Skeens. It was awesome. But O'Neal Cruz is one of those guys that can absolutely mash the baseball. And Corey Seager obliterated that pitch from Walker Bueller. 3-2 count. Classic Corey Seager at bat. You're working the count, right? 3-2, fouling off, taking some pitches, and then just absolutely smokes one into the right field stands. You notice they gave Corey Seager a pretty warm reception when he first was announced. Yesterday, they did like a tribute video for him, which was really cool. Obviously, Seager won the World Series with the Dodgers in 2020, won World Series MVP. That fan base has got to be showing him a lot of respect. I'm glad there weren't boos. Siegs deserves a lot of love from Dodger fans. He really does. He was a big reason they won that World Series in 2020. We're not going to get into the 2020 World Series. Was it legit? Was it not? Look, I don't discount that World Series. I think that was a World Series. Everybody had the same rules. Everybody played the same games. Some people are going to look at it differently, the COVID year, but you know what? I can't say I really do. They had to go through the same gauntlet everybody else did. And that Tampa Bay Dodgers World Series was entertaining. A Rosarino was like in peak form for Tampa Bay. You had some great pitching matchups. Anyways, Corey Seager's the hero tonight. Maybe you can throw in the relay combo of Leody Taveras, Marcus Simeon at the end of the game, which we're going to get to in a second. But Corey Seager's home run, really the only offense in tonight's game. In fact, in terms of runners in scoring position, the Rangers did have their moments. They were, it looks like 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Not good. Corey Seager's home run was the one, by the way, if you needed that help. So, not a great day for the Rangers offense as a whole. We're going to take this win in LA playing the Dodgers. We're going to take this win. We're not going to dwell on the negatives. It wasn't a great night for the rest of the Rangers lineup, but Corey Seager going full GOAT mode, just MVP, putting the team on his back. What else can you say about that guy? Corey Seager, 271. Corey Seager also getting on base via the walk as well. So a lot of good positive things. A lot of good positive things here. Now, let's go ahead and let's keep things rolling. So, first of all, we also had Josh Smith with a multi-hit game in that one. And Josh Smith, by the way, hang on just one sec, y'all. I might need to do a little readjustment here. There we go. I don't know if that's better. My camera froze out on me for a second. Josh Smith, 2 for 4 tonight, up to 290 on the year, his average. Very, very impressive. So, one thing that I was really kind of curious about, and again, we're not gonna we're not gonna get too critical tonight, but I was a little surprised to see Josh Smith hitting fourth and Dolly hitting third. Doesn't it seem natural that that probably should be flipped? I mean, you've got Josh Smith who's absolutely killing it right now, and then you've got Dolly who is doing the exact opposite. And tonight, really, that's exactly what happened. Dolly goes 0 for 4, did put the ball in play every time, so that's a positive. But Josh Smith needs to be hitting third. He's not a prototypical 3-hole hitter. We've talked about that. We love Josh Smith. And a lot of Rangers fans love Josh Smith, but he's not a three-hole hitter. Your three-hole hitter should be driving the ball, hitting more homers. And look, he's getting it done. It's serviceable. It's great. I'm glad that we have him. So it's not a knock on Josh Smith, but you want Josh Smith like leading off, hitting second. You want him maybe hitting sixth, seventh. You want Josh Smith not in a role like where there's a ton of RBI situations. Three-hole hitters, you want a guy with pop who can drive it. And Josh Smith, he can get extra base hits, he can hit home runs, but he's not a prototypical three-hole hitter. He's doing a great job though until Josh Young gets back. I assume Josh Young is probably going to stay three-hole hitter against lefties. And I would imagine maybe Josh Smith against righty starters still hits three-hole. That wouldn't surprise me at all. So at this point, that was really the only thing coming into the game that concerned me lineup wise. I know there were a few other Rangers fans online thinking the same thing. I'll be curious if they keep hitting Dolly in the three spot. If anything, I was thinking drop Dolly down to the five spot. Dolly is like four for his last 50. You think I'm kidding? I mean, let's look it up right now. So we've done this before, but Dolly in his last 30 games, 15 for 116, a 129 average. Dolly in his last 15 games, 5 for 56, 0.89 average in his last 15 games. Does that sound like a guy that needs to be moved up in the order? I mean, it feels like the Rangers are kind of trying to will him out of the slump, hitting him in the three hole. Hey, we love you. We have confidence in you. It's like doubling down on a 16 in blackjack. Like, I guess you're just positive vibes, get the vibes up, let's double down. Like, let's see what happens, right? It's not a good idea, but let's see what happens. That's how I feel about moving Dolly up to the three spot right now. You've got a terrible hand and you're just doubling down on it. You don't need to be moving Adolis Garcia hitting 5 for his last 56, a 0.89 batting average. You don't need to be getting him more at bats right now. Dolly needs to be moved down to 5 if you're going to move him at all. I think leaving him in the 4th spot is fine, but the last thing you need to be doing is moving him up in the order with how he's hitting right now. It's not good. It's terrible. And I love Dolly. Dolly is a great player. I will love him forever for what he did for us last October and November. I will love Adolis Garcia forever. But the dude's hitting 0.89 right now in his last 56 at bats. Not good. Not somebody that needs to be hitting in the three hole for you. Now, beyond that, Nate Lowe gets a hit tonight. Wyatt Langford goes 1 for 3 with the walk. So continuing to see positive things out of Langford. By the way, Corey Seager extended his career best on base streak to 29 games. So every game Corey Seager gets on base tomorrow and on, he is going to just continue to extend that career on base streak that he has. It is a beautiful thing to see Corey Seager locked in right now. The biggest reason that the Rangers won tonight. Wyatt Langford, though, 1 for 3 with the walk. We talked about he was removed in the 7th or 8th inning for Travis Jankowski. Most likely that was for defensive purposes, right? It's late. The Rangers have a lead. Jankowski is a better defender than Wyatt Langford at this point in both of their careers. Not saying Wyatt Langford is a bad defender, but you'll take Jankowski, the veteran. He's fast. He has good range. He makes good reads on the baseball. And that's an opportunity as well where you're kind of making a lateral move speed wise. Yes, Langford is a little bit faster than Jankowski is, but you're not losing that much speed there. Now, I think more probably defensive purposes than anything, given Wyatt Langford maybe a little bit of a breather. I can only imagine. I don't know if the hamstring was bothering him, but who knows? Maybe they're just looking for an opportunity to get him a little bit of rest there. And it's a natural spot with, again, a 3-1 lead. You're trying to protect, you're trying to put your best defense out there. The Rangers, I think, kind of knew at that point. Look, I don't know if we're going to be scoring a lot more runs here. Let's go ahead and just put out the best defense we possibly can to hold on to this 3-1 lead, which ultimately ended up being a 3-2 lead in the victory tonight. So that's why Langford, his average up to 231 on the year, slowly creeping back up there. Wyatt Langford, I would say, trending positively right now. The one hit, look, it wasn't a laser, it was an infield single, but that's what Wyatt Langford does. That is a part of his game. Putting the ball in play, grinding out at bats, and getting on base any way possible. So look, even though the one hit Langford had today wasn't a rocket, in the gap, look, it's a little like ground ball infield single. We'll take it. And he walks as well. You're on base twice. You will absolutely take that out of your sixth spot. 100%. Jonah Heim 0 for 4. Heim is another one that is just having a rough time right now. I feel bad for him. Walker Bueller is a guy that Heim had actually faced in the past and done pretty well against. I think his average career was 667 against Walker Bueller coming into this game. So I was a little surprised that Heim didn't have a little more success today. In fact, in the video that I put out previewing the game a few hours ago, I thought Heim was going to have a big night tonight, but Heim is another one like Dolly that's really struggling. Jonah Heim in his last 15 games is 9 for 57. So a little better than Adolis Garcia, but not much. That's good for a 158 batting average in his last 15 games. So Jonah Heim and Dolly really struggling. Those are two guys that were all stars last year for us. You can see why this offense is hurting right now. Thank goodness for Corey Seager and that 3-run home run. Thank goodness. Because the rest of this offense is having a tough time. There's a few bright spots here and there. We're highlighting those right now. But Dolly, Jonah, all stars last year, having a tough stretch right now. If those guys can come out of it, if Dolly can suddenly start hitting, if we can get Jonah Heim raking again, this offense could go places. Like on paper, I've said this all year. On paper, this offense is very, very potent. This could be a lethal offense on paper, but you've just got a lot of guys underperforming right now, and it's as simple as that. I know we could probably do like a deep dive breaking down the swings and the approaches, and we do a little bit of that, but the bottom line is these guys just got to hit better. You're counting on Jonah Heim and Adolis Garcia to be contributors. Now, look, Nate Lowe, I want to bring him up, and I'll put this comment up. Somebody's asking me from YouTube, Julius, what's up, by the way, about Nate Lowe. So, look, Nate Lowe is a guy dating back to last year that I can't say I've had a ton of confidence in, right? In September, October, into the playoffs, I can't say that I had a ton of confidence in Nate Lowe. I think Nate Lowe is a great teammate. I think he's a great clubhouse guy. I think he's got a good glove over at first base, a real good glove. But I have not felt confidence in Nate Lowe's bat for a while now. The Rangers won the World Series in spite of Nate Lowe's bat, and he did not have a very good postseason. It was fine. It wasn't like the worst ever, but it wasn't good. So I'm not expecting a ton out of Nate Lowe, and I didn't coming into this year. So that's the only reason why I don't bring him up more. That being said, Nate Lowe has struggled over his past 15, 30, 30 games, 227 average over his last 30. Last 15, 279. Last 7, 304. So Nate Lowe is coming around a little bit in the last week or so. But Jonah Heim and Dolly are the ones I think that are just really having a tough time right now. Nate Lowe, I'm not expecting him to be, Mr. Offensive Silver Slugger, big contributor. If he is, great. But Jonah Heim and Dolly, Jonah Heim had 95 RBI last year. Dolly was well over 100. You expect those guys to do well and to contribute offensively, and they're just not doing it right now. Both hitting below 200 in their last 15 games. It's just not a good recipe for offensive success. Again, thankfully the Rangers had Corey Seager. Then we got Zeke Duran and Leote each getting a hit apiece. Look, you'll take 1 for 4 from your 8 and 9 hitters. I've said that over and over. If I can get Leote and Zeke going 1 for 4 every night, I'm going to take that from my 8 and 9 hole hitters. If they can walk and get on base a second time, great. I'm not expecting those guys to have multi hit games. I'm expecting 1 for 4, and maybe you get a walk if you get a fifth at bat. But I really can't say that I'm going to be upset or overly critical of both Duran and Tavares getting a hit, getting on base. We'll take that from our 9 hole spot. Obviously, with Tavares, it's nice when he can turn over the lineup to Simeon, but I'm not expecting Leote to hit a lot better than 250. I don't know if y'all are, but I'm not expecting Leote Tavares to hit 300. He's a 9 hole hitter for a reason. And Duran, same thing. I'm not expecting Zeke Duran to hit 300. I would love 275. I would love that, but I'm not expecting 300. I'll take a hit from them. And then in terms of the pitching, let's go through that box score. Bullpen allows 1 run, and that was the Yates inning, which we'll get to in a second. But Jon Gray goes 3 innings, 1 earned run, the Shohei home run, 4 hits, excuse me, 1 walk, so 5 base runners in 3 innings, and his ERA is now 2.17. So 3 innings, 1 earned run would be a 3 ERA. So I think the ERA goes up like ever so slightly. By the way, those were some crazy stats. I don't know if y'all saw my video earlier today, but Jon Gray had like a 127 ERA in night games this year. I mean, that's crazy. Day games, it was like a little bit higher. I think it was like high twos, maybe low threes. But night games for Jon Gray, it's like 127 ERA this season. So look, that rose a little bit, obviously, today, only going 3 innings. And Gray threw 65 pitches, so they were being careful with him. So it's not like he was at 90 pitches in 3 innings. He just was on a little bit of, I think, a pitch count restriction coming off the injury. Makes sense. But Latz goes 2 innings, only gives up 2 base runners with a strikeout. Leclerc, I thought, had an outstanding performance tonight. His ERA is down to 4.40. So Leclerc started out like double digit ERA with how he began the season. And he's just slowly whittled that thing down. Leclerc has been very, very effective. We're going to look at Leclerc's numbers right now because there's a lot of Leclerc haters out there. Y'all know this. There's a ton of Leclerc haters out there. So let's actually look at the stats right now. In Jose Leclerc's last, last 15 games, let's go last 7 games because those stats look better and they help my argument a little bit here. Last 7 games, Leclerc's pitched 11 innings and has given up 1 earned run. So last 7 appearances for Leclerc, 11 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 3 walks. How about this? 1 hit. Leclerc has given up 1 hit in his last 11 innings pitched, and he has struck out 14 in those 11. Those are some dominant all-star numbers if you just look at his last 7 games. Look, you look at his last 15, it's not terrible. So he's at, in his last 18 innings, you go last 15 appearances, he struck out 27 batters. He's allowed 7 earned runs, 8 hits in those almost 19 innings pitched. So we're doing the quick math here. That's still like a 3 ERA, which isn't bad. But the last 7 games are what pop. The dude's given up 1 hit in his last 11 innings, 3 walks, 4 base runners in his last 11 innings with 14 strikeouts. Absolutely incredible. So we got to stop with the Leclerc hate. I know he gave up the home run. What was it, against the Giants or something like that? And it sucked, but the Rangers weren't putting across any runs anyways. Leclerc has been dominant in his last 7 games. We got to give him his flowers. We trash him when he sucks. We got to admit the dude's dominant right now. You're giving up 1 hit in your last 11 innings, 1 earned run. That was the home run. So the only hit, home run he's given up in his last 11 innings was that one that broke the tie or tied up the game against the Giants on like Monday or Tuesday. He's on a dominant run right now. Good for him. Robertson, of course, came in and struck out the side. That was murderer's row. He faced who? He faced Betts, Shohei, and Freddie Freeman and struck them all out? Is that how that went? Or did he not face Mookie? I forget who he had to face exactly. Let me go and look it up right now. But David Robertson, that was an extremely clutch performance coming in that spot. David Robertson, he had to face, I got it right now for you guys. So he faced Betts, Otani, Freeman, and struck them all out. David Robertson is becoming a Rangers legend this season with what he's doing. I know he's had some rough spots of late. The ERA is now 3.30, but it just seems like in the highest leverage of situations, that's who I want out there. I mean, I'll take a loss if you throw Robertson out there and you lose, like that happened a couple of games ago, right? You live with it. Robertson has 13 holds, and the Rangers have like an ungodly record in a good way. When they have a lead in the seventh inning or past, it's like they've only lost one or two games. And a ton of that is David Robertson and Kirby Yates. So can't say really enough positive things about David Robertson and his contributions to this Rangers team. We have struggled for so long to have a guy that can shut it down in the eighth inning, can shut it down in the ninth inning, and David Robertson has done outstanding. Kirby Yates, never a doubt, though, right? Kirby Yates, never a doubt in that ninth inning. I mean, it started out okay, but he gave up the hit, gave up the back-to-back hits, I believe. He walked somebody. It wasn't his cleanest inning, but we'll take it. I will say thank you. Was that I believe that was, let me see. That was Andy Pajes, the rookie, right? I believe he's a rookie, Pajes is. Just ran through that stop sign. Thanks, dude. Thank you. Appreciate you. Go ahead and ignore your coach. Run right through that stop sign and get out to end the game and give us the win. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Because he definitely could have just stayed at third. And then after that, let's see, who would they have had up? Hayward gets the hit. Biggio would have come up. Not the best option there. You do have Mookie on deck, but Biggio would have been up next, right? Because Hayward got that hit. So maybe that's a little bit the thought process. I just think he was trying to be the hero at the end of the game. Like, dude, how are you going to ignore your coach? I mean, how are you going to do that in the most clutch moment there at the bottom of the ninth inning? Rookie mistake for sure. The Rangers benefited. We'll take it. But rookie mistake, dude. Bottom of the ninth inning, you're trying to tie the game and you're trying to score from what was it? From first base on a ball. Yes, that Leote bobbles a little bit, but I mean that was just way too aggressive. It actually ended up being a closer play than I thought it was going to be, but nevertheless, man, your coach is telling you to stop. You don't want to be that last out blowing through that stop sign. I can only imagine what they're saying to him in the clubhouse after the game. I Not good. But we'll take it. We benefit. Rangers win 3-2. And I said this was the game, y'all. This was the game. The Rangers needed to get to Walker Buehler tonight. Right-handed, right-handed pitcher, and a guy that you can actually have a good shot at scoring some runs off of. Look, the Rangers really didn't score that many runs tonight, but Siegs is able to get to Bueller in the fifth, and the rest is history. Tomorrow, you got to face Yamamoto. Can the Rangers get a win tomorrow? Absolutely. But you didn't want to go into tomorrow losing the first two and then facing Yamamoto. I said at the beginning of this week, my expectation for the Rangers in LA, take 1 out of 3. Take 1 out of 3. I know maybe that sounds way too pessimistic or sounds kind of defeatist, but that was my expectation. Can we just not get swept out in LA? Can we get at least one? But winning tonight allows you now to go into tomorrow's game with a chance to steal one. I wouldn't say the Rangers stole this one. I think the pitching was phenomenal. Jon Gray and the bullpen dominated. Yeah, you get a little lucky at the end there with Pajes blowing through the stop sign, but who knows what would have happened with Biggio up. Biggio had a hit, but he's batting 204 on the year. He ain't killing it. So I can't sit here and say if Pajes actually stops at third base and doesn't blow through the stop sign that the Rangers end up losing the game. I think it's very, very reasonable to say that Kirby Yates gets Biggio out next batter and the game's over anyways. Now it's baseball, you never know, right? But I think that's a very reasonable conclusion. So with that being said, I wouldn't say it was a steal tonight. The Rangers stole this one. They got lucky. The Dodgers were pretty bad offensively themselves all night long, and the Rangers pitchers did a great job. Give them credit. But now tomorrow, I kind of say you steal one tomorrow. If you can beat Yamamoto, the chances of shutting down the Dodgers offense for a second consecutive day in a row, I'm not seeing it, y'all. I'm not. Who do we have pitching tomorrow? We'll check that out in a second. I'm going to go to it right now, actually. But I just can't see it happening. I'm not going to be shocked at all if the Dodgers score some runs tomorrow. And when I say that, I mean 5+. If they don't, I'll be very, very happy. But tomorrow looks like we have Lorenzen going. And oh, weird. Looks like on MLB right now, MLB.com, the Dodgers starter is to be determined. When I looked before this series, Yamamoto was lined up for Thursday. So maybe something weird happened. I don't know. Maybe something weird happened there. But Yamamoto was the listed starter as of like Tuesday morning for Thursday's game. Now it's to be determined on MLB.com. So maybe it's not Yamamoto tomorrow. I would gladly take that. I hope that we don't have to face him tomorrow. Because watching him over the weekend in the Bronx absolutely deal and shut down the Yankees, I don't think that bodes well for this Texas offense. So I would be happy if they decided to give Yamamoto an extra day of rest. Please, please, Dodgers. Dave Roberts, do it, buddy. Give Yamamoto that extra day. We'll face an opener or something tomorrow. We'll take it. So we'll see. We'll have to peek on that matchup for tomorrow. But Dodgers had announced Yamamoto, but looks like it is now to be determined. So we shall see. Lorenzen going for the Rangers. And let's look at the Dodgers' career numbers against Mike Lorenzen. So Hayward is actually the player that has the most at bats against Mike Lorenzen in his career. He has 20 career at bats against Lorenzen. Jason Hayward does. No home runs, but he is hitting 300 in 20 at bats. We've got Kike Hernandez hitting 2 for 4 in his career. Teoscar Hernandez 167 in 6 at bats. Let's see the big three. Betts has never faced Lorenzen. Okay. Otani is 2 for 6 against Lorenzen in his career. And Freddie Freeman is 1 for 3. So it's kind of a low sample size mixed bag. Who knows? Lorenzen in his last start, don't know if y'all remember. It feels like it's been a while, but last start was against San Francisco. Lorenzen went 4 1/3, gave up 2 runs, got no run support. Wouldn't say it was his best outing. That being said, in his last 7 games, Lorenzen has a 2.57 ERA. So he's been pitching great last 7 games. Can't complain at all. Lorenzen has 31 strikeouts in last 42 innings pitched. Only 12 earned runs in his last 42 innings pitched. Lorenzen's pitching really well. I think it's going to be tough, though, to shut down this Dodgers offense 2 days in a row. That is a really big ask. The Dodgers only scored 2 runs tonight. That just doesn't happen. I think they said on the MLB broadcast tonight, Dodgers are like the third highest scoring team in baseball. The chances of shutting them down 2 days in a row are not high, but hey, Mike Lorenzen on the mound. Maybe we get another special performance from him. Of course, before that Giants series, that dude was on fire. Had gone 6 innings, no earned runs against Miami, 6 innings, 1 earned run against Minnesota. Maybe Mike Lorenzen has a gem in store for us tomorrow. Sure hope so. Now let's take a look at scores around the AL West real quick, and then we're going to wrap things up for tonight. It is getting pretty late, especially for my people in Texas. Now, let's see. Today, everything's final at this point. So the Mariners beat the White Sox 2-1, unfortunately. Thought maybe when I looked at the score, was peeking at it, thought maybe the White Sox might be able to steal one. But man, it couldn't be a worse setup for the Rangers playing like the best team in baseball, the Dodgers, right? And then the Mariners, who you're trying to chase, are playing the worst team in baseball. So not a great setup for the Rangers this week, but at least the Rangers are getting a W in this series because the Mariners are probably just going to spank the White Sox tomorrow. I feel like this was like the White Sox one chance. I think the Mariners are probably going to spank them tomorrow, and the Rangers just not going to be able to gain ground when the Mariners are playing cupcakes while we're working on the best team in baseball in the Dodgers. Now the Angels won today as well, 8-3 over the Diamondbacks in Arizona. Then the only other matchup, the A's lost to the Padres 5-4 today. So the only team that lost, oh, and the Astros lost. How could I forget? The Astros lost today. Rangers win, Astros lose. It's not a great. It's an amazing day to be a Rangers fan. Astros lose, Rangers win. Stellar day today. Now let's go to the standings right quick. And after that, we'll go to the comments and we will call it a night. Now, standings, we've got the Mariners obviously still in first place. That's going to be that's going to be the that's probably going to be the case for a while. They're up, I think, about 6.5 games at this point. My computer's going a little slow on me. Also, be patient. Mariners right now are 6.5 up. I was right. 8.5 up on the Astros, 12.5 up on the Angels, and 14 up on the last place Oakland A's. So, 2 games now in between the Astros and the Rangers. We're talking about the battle for second and third place. So, the win today drops the Astros back 2 full games behind the Rangers. Rangers are still 3.5 games back in the wild card. Yes, we know it's early to be talking about wild card, but honestly, with 3 teams now being able to be wild card, I think it's worth looking at because that makes you have to think differently about decisions that you make at the trade deadline as you get to that deadline and think about adding players, selling players. 3.5 games out with what, 95 games left. Very, very doable. So Rangers are really in a pretty solid spot right now, despite having a losing record, 32 and 35. You're only 3.5 games out of the wild card. That's why I said, like, as bad as they're playing, you will take where they're at right now. As bad as they've been playing, as terrible as the offense has been, you will take 3.5 games out with 95-ish games left. I I I can't say that when you look at it through that lens and that perspective, I can't say that I am very frustrated when I hear something like that. I know watching this offense night to night is frustrating, but 3.5 back with 95 games left. That's got to give you hope if you're a Rangers fan. I know it did for me. And I can imagine that if they're within that striking distance come July, they'll be making some moves. I hope they make moves sooner. This offense, I think, needs a little bit more than Josh Young and Corey Seager back in it to get back on track. I just feel that way. I know that management is praying and hoping that Josh Young comes back and the Rangers suddenly become that team that was like the top scoring team in the American League last year. But I just don't know if it's going to happen. I think they're more than just a Josh Young away. And I've said that before, and I'll say it again. I think they need to go get a right handed bat. I prefer they do it sooner rather than later. But speaking of Josh Young, he goes on a rehab assignment today. I think he took live BP with the team in LA tonight and then went and got on a plane going to do some rehab work with the AAA club, I believe. So we'll see how long they give him. I would imagine we'll see him for the Mets series. That would be my prediction. He goes on a rehab for the rest of the week. You've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'd imagine we'll see him for the Mets series, which starts, I believe, on Monday. So that's going to be a lot of fun having Josh Young back in this lineup. Hopefully, he's not rusty. Hopefully, he comes back and is a contributor fairly quickly. I'm going to be watching how he does in AAA the next few days. So we'll do a little Josh Young watch over the next few nights, update you on how Josh Young is doing. Max Scherzer probably going to be making another rehab start here pretty soon. So the excitement is starting to build, y'all. We're getting some guys back. Even though it's only one offensive player and the offense is kind of the problem right now, I've said a few different times on these lives, just getting these guys back and healthy is a boost for the culture, for the morale of the players. Yes, those guys are in the dugout and they're still being leaders, but when you're in the trenches and you're a team leader, it just hits differently than when you're injured. So I really feel like when the Rangers get some of these guys back, you get a Scherzer back in there competing, right? In the trenches. I think it's going to be a big positive for this team. Same thing with Cody Bradford and guys like that. Cody Bradford, man, we can't forget how that dude just killed it the first month of the season before he went down with an injury. I hope that when he comes back, he still has it. But I think everything is going to go better for the Rangers in terms of their bullpen now that these guys are coming back. So you can move a Dunning, you can move a Heaney to the bullpen, and your bullpen instantly gets better because I think those guys can be really, really great in small spurts. So we'll see. We'll do some Josh Young AAA watching on his rehab assignment this weekend. That'll be fun. Hopefully, accompanied by some Texas Rangers wins. That would be phenomenal. Let me check comments real quick, and then I will get us out of here. I know I was going on for a while right now. Langford's bat absolutely could be an X factor down the stretch, 100%. If Langford can get going and be a 275 hitter with some pop, beautiful. This offense gets that much more dynamic. I agree. Absolutely. Um, what did we hear on Yamamoto? Is it just giving him an extra day of rest? Because I know he was in line to pitch Thursday. I don't know. Anyways, man, I missed a bunch of comments. My notifications were not coming through. Uh Padres walked it off again. Yeah, that is 2 days in a row. You're right about that. Two walk-offs in a row for the Padres. I've told y'all, the Padres, we go to my family, we go to some games in San Diego. We love going to San Diego, just over from Vegas. We've been a few different times. It's a great place. Go on a little vacation. Be crazy to live there. Beautiful, beautiful spot. But love going to Petco. Beautiful ballpark. Definitely don't mind seeing the Padres doing well. The Padres are doing well. They're in first place. That usually means the Dodgers aren't doing so great. And I don't hate the Dodgers, but I would much rather see the Padres do well over the Dodgers. Let me put it to you that way. Beyond that, Phillies going all the way. I love Bryce Harper, but I do not love this comment. I hope the Phillies do not go all the way. But man, it's fun to watch Bryce Harper. Love that guy. One of my favorite non-Ranger players. Just love the way he plays the game. Got the swag, got the confidence, plays hard. I would love to have a guy like Bryce Harper on your team. He's truly one of those guys. You have him on your team, you love him to death. He's not on your team, and he just rubs you the wrong way. But I love Hart. Vegas kid. Really, really have enjoyed watching his career. Let me see. What else we got going on? DeGrom. I heard the latest on DeGrom is August. I heard he's coming back after the trade deadline, so August. That makes sense. Like, you don't want to rush DeGrom back because I think that they can make the playoffs without him. So if you have a healthy DeGrom for the playoffs, that's the goal. I really think. I think August and September, take it easy, tune him up. You want that dude good for October. So I think DeGrom, it's August. Let me check it out. And that's about it. Yeah, I can imagine. San Diego is it is a beautiful place. What it's always like 75, starts out cloudy in the morning, burns off sunny in the afternoon. Again, Petco Park, one of the best ballparks in my opinion. Love watching games there. Another ballpark, if you've never been, Busch Stadium. I'm telling y'all, I just went to a game there last night. Busch Stadium, beautiful ballpark. If you've never been there, I love Busch Stadium. It is a great game, great place to watch a game. Look, I like Globe Life. I went to World Series game 1 and it was the best baseball game of my life. I'm never going to see a better game than game one of the World Series. Corey Seager, 2-run bomb with one out in the ninth inning to tie it. Doley walk-off home run in the 11th. I'm never going to watch a better baseball game than World Series game one. If I do, wow, I'm like the luckiest person on planet Earth. But look, Globe Life aesthetically, I can't say it rivals Petco Park. And if you've been to Petco, you know what I'm talking about. I would probably say the same thing for Busch Stadium. The view, the look. Look, Globe Life is new. It's nice, but there are better ballparks out there, y'all. I'm sorry. I know maybe that is like blasphemous, treasonous to some Rangers fans, but that is how I feel. I wish that the Rangers would have done something a little bit different with that new ballpark. I actually, it was hot as ever, but I like the look and feel of the old ballpark much better than the new one. I do like the air conditioning in the new ballpark though for the Rangers. 100%. 100%. Well, all right, y'all. I am going to sign off for tonight. We'll get a video out to y'all tomorrow. I think it's another night game tomorrow. I was thinking maybe a getaway game. It would be like late. It would be like maybe early in the afternoon, but no, it's a 7:10 West Coast start. So 9:10 Texas time start. All right. We'll roll with it. So we'll probably be coming at y'all late night again tomorrow. That'll be the plan. And we'll go through it, win or loss. You know how it goes, rain or shine. That's a part of being a fan. We're always here breaking it down for y'all, going through the highs and the lows of this 2024 Rangers season. Hopefully, we'll be coming tomorrow night after a series win against the Dodgers. Wouldn't that be crazy? We'll take it. And as I always say at the end of the show, thank you so much for liking, for sharing this. If you're not following right now, I would love if you give the follow. You might know we're doing a challenge here right on Rangers, betting 1 cent on Texas Rangers money line for every follower that we have. It's not going amazing right now, but I will tell you this, the underdog value that I'm getting on the Rangers right now against the Dodgers, it would be really helpful to get back-to-back wins. I will take back-to-back wins. That would do a lot of wonders for my system at the moment. But hey, throw a penny in the pot, give that follow. Let's make this challenge even more fun. And if you know somebody that loves the Rangers or loves baseball in general, share this with them. You know, we love talking Rangers, but we talk other things too. We'll talk anything going on around the league. In fact, looking at the news right now, let's see if there's anything else notable on the MLB homepage that we can yap on about for a few more minutes here. Let me see. Doesn't look like there's a ton. Siegs made the front page. You love to see that. Corey Seager makes the front page. Seager homers to mark return to lineup. Dodger Stadium. Love it. Yankees made the front page. Beaten KC for their third straight win. Oh, by the way, we're talking Padres. Merrill made the front page. Merrill, the youngest ever to walk off shot in multi home run game. Cool. MLB history in that Padres walk off. How about that? Right now, I'm watching it right now. Merrill's bomb to win the game right down the right field line. Oh, that's fun, man. Making history. That is fun. So let me get this history right, by the way. So he became, wow, and it was off Mason Miller too? You got to be kidding me. That is a lot of fun. So not only do you walk it off, but you walk it off against Mason Miller, the A's stud relief pitcher that's like on everybody's mind for the trade deadline. Miller's been getting some homers hit off him. I'm not saying he's slumping or whatever. He's like not good anymore, but there's been some guys hitting some homers off him lately. Interesting, but wow. To see Merrill hitting that off Mason Miller, that is very, very impressive. So it says here, uh, he and Merrill became the second set of Padres teammates to walk off homers on consecutive days. Oh, Higashioka. Okay, he hit the walk off. He hit the walk off yesterday. I see now. The last Padres, by the way, to go back to back walk-offs was Bruce Bochy. There you go, Bruce Bochy. Boch and Marvell win in 1986. There you go. That's awesome, man. Good stuff. Well, all right, y'all. We got to wrap it up. It's getting late. We've gone on long enough. But appreciate y'all. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, sharing. With another Rangers fan, another baseball fan would mean a lot. And as I always say to end every show, God bless. Go Rangers. Hope y'all have a great rest of your Wednesday night or Thursday morning, technically. And hopefully, we'll see y'all after the game tomorrow night after a Rangers win on the replay or later on this weekend.